What's up, guys? It's Zaki J, and today we're going to be talking about the qualia of energy and why this is one of the biggest steps in your spiritual journey. It's huge. It's a monument. It's a critical milestone to cross. But let's figure out what qualia means first off, and then we can connect it to energy. So qualia, what is this, right? It's like an SAT word. Haven't heard that one before. Well, don't worry. I heard about this word the other year. It's not like you know, sometimes you got to read a little bit to figure out a new word, but some of those words come with really interesting ways of looking at the world, right? So you want to be able to come across some of these ones that can help you expand your consciousness. Qualia being one of them, and it actually has a lot to do with consciousness. For instance, your consciousness, there's a quality to it, and that quality is defined as being able to notice the quality of your consciousness. Is the word for that is qualia, right? And let's give you some examples first, so it makes it really grounded and easy to approach. You're driving a car, it's in the middle of the night, man, it's been a long time too, on a long dirt road, just staring out into a vast, empty, straight line. What's going to happen? You might start getting tired. You might start drifting off to sleep. And if that is the case, what happens to your consciousness when you're driving tired, right? You're making maybe not the best decisions. Your ability to process information is diminished, right? You could be tired and in a conversation with somebody that you deeply appreciate. And if you're talking with them, it doesn't matter because you can barely hang on, right? So just like there's the lower end, there's the upper end too. And what does that upper end look like for the quality of your consciousness? You might be having a peak experience. You might be feeling fully connected and coherent with everyone around you and even nature itself and the world itself. You're humming along right there with the universe. So there's a qualia to consciousness, right? A determinate different quality to different states of being. And where is your quality of consciousness today? Did you show up ready to go? Did you hop out the bed like humming along with the universe? Or was it a little slow and like a lazy Monday? I don't know, but you should figure that one out because you can measure your quality, the quality of your consciousness, just like you can measure the quality of your energy. Well, that's what happens, at least, when you've improved your ability on your spiritual journey to be aware. See, awareness goes outwards into the world, and you can become aware of the things around you. What is that? Is that a plant I've never seen before? Is that an animal that I didn't notice lived in this area? You know what I mean? Oh my goodness, did they just build that building? And just like you can do that, you can do the same thing with energy. You can be like, what is the energy today in my system? And it's a felt experience too. It's a totally felt experience. And you have to be attuned with yourself to be able to feel yourself. And you have to dial up that attunement over time. Well, maybe not everyone. You see, there's some people that are just like dialed in already. They have like a lot of information flowing through their system and they can just tap right into energy. And if you're one of those naturals, that's awesome. I love it. But if you're like me, when you started your spiritual journey, I had a lot of what is going on here. And plus, this is like before the internet's like really took off with Google. I'm still using Ask Jeeves at this time. You know what I mean? So um, it was a little bit like a trial and error, right? And there was plenty of error and the trial was tribulating, right? So to come into contact with energy, it took me a while to meditate, right? To come into contact with energy, it took me a while to actually build up the sensitivity to feel. Just like if you were to practice, for instance, going into your pantry and blind taste testing spices, you might notice that the first time you try that, the score is pretty low. You might get a few right? You probably get cinnamon right, but are you gonna get the like celery seed? You know what I mean? Are you gonna nail that one? Are you gonna get turmeric correctly off the first time? What about different types of salt? Are you gonna nail those ones? I don't know. There's a lot of different spices out there that you might miss because you haven't practiced. You got to practice it too, right? And if you don't practice the sensitivity of feeling inwardly, you don't practice that sensitivity, what ends up happening is you don't get that sensitivity. You don't get to figure out what's going on the inside. And throughout your spiritual journey, you want to be connected with what's happening on the inside because, as Carl Jung is putting it, there seems to be a lot going on in there, right? And if there is a lot going on in there, what is going on with you in there, right? What's your in there look like and feel like, right? What does your senses tell you about what the you're in there is all about? Well, you got to figure this one out. And by spending time with it, and eventually what happens is you peel back the layers of I'm not my thoughts, right? I'm not my emotions, I'm not my body. So what is going on in there, right? You will also notice the ever-changing, ebbing and flowing energy. And once you start to feel this ebbing and flowing energy, you're getting into direct contact with tons of information that can provide you up-to-date data for your dashboard. Yes. Right in front of you, you're going to have tons of information available to you with how you actually feel in the ever-changing circumstances of life. You can be directly tapped into where your energy is. Is it fluctuating? Is it down low? Is it up high? Right? And you might even be able to, dare I say, if you start to improve upon this, be capable of channeling, harnessing, and changing your energy just through noticing it and the observer effect. You know, like once you start to realize the extremes of negative energy, you might be like, you know, I don't want that anymore. And by observing where your energy is when it is negative, you can start to course correct. It doesn't mean that it's like an instantaneous, it doesn't mean like you're going back and forth between negative and happy, but the course correcting might take time, but you can do it. And that's what's really important. So that presents us like the case. And the case is that there is a qualia to energy. And that qualia can allow you to make better decisions about what you should do in life. If you're directly connected with energy itself that is flowing through your system, you're so much closer to your own truth, your own story, right? Because that energy, which will be flowing through your system regardless if you're paying attention to it or not, if you are paying attention to it, you have the ability to lean into it. And there's no better way of leaning into this energy than when you're feeling love-filled, light-filled, happy-filled, joy-filled, bliss-filled. When you feel these things and you lean into it, well, that's the whole purpose of figuring out what the qualia of energy is. Because that's when it gets great to lean into. You lean away from the negative energy after you've sorted through it. Say you've identified the source of the negative energy. Look, like sometimes it's as simple as, you know, I'm just a little hungry and that's why I'm upset, because I can identify and sense the same sensation that I get when I get hungry. I'm getting that sensation a little bit deeper now. I can feel it faster. That when it's at its more subtle, and I can be better attuned to this. And then you can come out of it easier. It can be also the harder things too. If you're in the middle of going through something chaotic and, you know, in life, which life will throw at you, if you're going through something chaotic, you can eat more easily, like maybe not necessarily like the way life has in the domino effect, like the way life is sometimes just is, but your response to that is way easier to control when you can feel where you are in the present moment, right? When you can't feel where you are, you might feel like you can't control your emotions and they're just boiling and bubbling out everywhere. But when you get better at this thing, you're getting to see it as it appears on the horizon. And then you're zooming in closer and closer and closer until you're like, oh, I know what that is. I know what that energy is doing, and I know what I will want to do in response to this energy. So yes, the qualia of energy is incredibly important milestone in your spiritual development. You need to be able to sense this. This is important if you want to continue to develop, because if you can't sense energy that's flowing in you, oh man, you're missing out, right? You're missing out on all of the information yourself, your higher self, is presenting to you at any given point of time. Let's not turn off ourselves. Let's turn on ourselves. We turn on ourselves to life and the ability to even be able to affirm life with our being, right? That is very important to do. So if you like this video, please help me out and give me a subscribe and a like. I would deeply appreciate it. That would be awesome, because we're all sharing consciousness. So if we can make it a little bit better, man, it's going to be a lot better for the rest of us too, right? So one step at a time. And guess what? Can't wait to talk to you all soon, and have a great rest of the day.